Okay, Shalom Makim, Kahalayim La Yahabashim Yashabashim Hakudash, and double honors to the greatest of the apostles. Thouday how Thouday Yashab for the strength in order to make this video. And the Aratazar that I found this video edifying, which means to build up, and of course exhorting, which means to as encouraging as well. It's the brother Ra'azar Halawiyah, meaning willing spirit, praise Yahweh. And when we say Kahalayim La, we're saying all praises to, and then when we say Yahweh, we're saying the true name of the Most High, which means He is, He exists, or He is to be. So Yahweh means He is, He exists, or He is to be. And when we say Bahashem, we're saying in the name. So Ba means in, Ha means the, Shah means name. And when we say Yahweh Shah, we're saying He delivers. Because of course it's through Yahweh Shah, that's how we get the mercy and deliverance, which is ordained by Yahweh. And of course through Yahweh Shah. And when we say Bahashem Rakah Kodash, we're saying in the name, Spirit Holy, quite literally. But it means through the Holy Spirit. So, just to get down to the part 2 here, because the part 2 for the other video which I named Israel are clueless to how sins were mitigated. And really what that's referring to is the direct actions to take when one was to sin. There was a procedure to this thing, to the customs of which we had, which of course a good proportion of them is also in the book of Leviticus. Now, I went into the unintentional things that Israel would have been caught up in, unintentional sins. The ones that was unintentional, but then you were made aware of it. Or really, I should say unaware of. Then you were made aware. Then the intentional ones, that's in Leviticus chapter 6. So Yaratazar, that I'm going to get into. But before I get into that, is because I'm going to repeat it again. I think last video I mentioned Judges 5 and 11 about us rehearsing the righteous acts. If not, I'm gonna read it again, because we're still in this day in our captivity. But yeah, I remember I did read it, but I'm gonna still read it again because we can't keep all the laws because we're in imperfect bodies, and also we're not even in the conditions where it will be ideal for us to keep all the laws anyways. So this is for our own knowledge of of all the practices that we had, when initially we were serving Yahweh in truth. So this is Judges 5 and 11. It says it once more: they that are delivered from the noise of the archers and the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord Yahweh, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord Yahweh go down to the gates. The key phrase here says, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh, man. So of course these scriptures, the customs mentioned within the scriptures are really for the Israelites. They're for the Israelites, but of course in the kingdom, the other heathen nations, they're going to have to follow our laws, because we'll be the ones leading them as well. Even in the book of Leviticus, he also mentions that too. About the bondmen and the bondwomen that are around about us, we're going to take them as slaves. But the heathens that are around about us, we're going to take them as slaves. So it's part of the law for us to also have servants from the heathens. Alright, so it says here, I'll get a quick one. This is Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 44. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen. That says right there, bondmen. A bondman or a bondwoman is really, you could just simplify it as a servant, or some kind of a slave, a servant. It says, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen. The heathen nations, the other nations of which are compared to spittle. I won't get the precept, but 2 Ezra 6 and 56. Isaiah 40 and verse 15 is another one too. So those are the heathens which are of low significance. It says, shall be of the heathen that are round about ye. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land, they shall be your possession. So of course, in the time to come, when these heathens also enter into our possessions, which is really, I'm talking about the lands here, because everybody's going to have their own land, even planets as well. Imagine a whole planet for a brother, man. The brother's going to be surprised in the kingdom, man. That's why we say Yaharatazar, that we do make it, when the time comes. So it says, the point is that even they're going to be multiplying, man, but really on earth, because their vessels are only going to be competent with being within the earth. So these heathens, they're going to be in our lands, and of course they're going to be doing their roles. They're going to also multiply as well, because we're going to need more servants, man. You have to reckon one. It's like, where's the offspring? The offspring going to be born into bondage the same way Israelites were also born into bondage as well during the time of the different captivities, man, from the Babylonian one to the most recent one, which is the transatlantic slave trade, as well as the other one of the northern tribe, especially the Native American Indians, the Latin America being dominated by the Portuguese, Spain. That's part of the captivity as well. Captivity more so of the northern tribe, and obviously transatlantic slave trade more so for the southern tribe. So, the key part was read verse 44. I read verse 46 right now. Leviticus 25 and 46. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. So of course, the heathens that are around about us, they'll be a possession to us. When you have your phone with you, that's your possession. You hold it, you can do what you want with it. That's the way the heathens are going to be. Now, of course, within righteousness, we're going to do what we want with them. But of course, with the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which we wouldn't have to worry about. There are no wicked thoughts in our minds in those new bodies. That's 2 Corinthians 15 verse 52. But I want to focus on this. It says here, and ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever, but over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor. So of course, let's say, a Jake is trying to build himself. Back in the day, he would actually be in servitude to another Jake, another Israelite, so that he can build up his resources. And after he's built up himself, then he'll go and establish himself. Have his own have his own land, and so on. Just like the way Jacob worked 7 years for Leah, for Rachel, and also another 7 years for Leah as well. Or rather, it was rather, if I recall correctly, Leah first, 7 years for Leah, onto Laban, and also 7 years again to Laban, so serving Laban to what's her name, Rachel as well. So of course, that's just a minor example of what Israelites were doing, man. In order to build up yourself, as a man, get your resources. That also could have involved serving another person. Let's say if your family doesn't have much inheritance to give to you, then you gotta serve another man. So that was the key there, Judges 5 and 11. No, actually that was Leviticus 25 and 44 to 46. And I read Judges 5 and 11 about being a rehearsal of these things, because you can't have all the laws done. You can't really follow all the laws completely. Even right now, mixed fabrics. That's also something that's that's already a transgression of the law, really, if you really think about it, because that's why we need the mercy of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You can't be perfect in these imperfect bodies. So Leviticus 6, I'm going to read some of it right now, Yaratazar, then bring out a few precepts, then that's it, man. That's really it. Because the point of the video is the fact that Israelites are clueless to the direct action that they're supposed to take, as a result of them committing a sin. So Leviticus 6, I'm probably going to jump to a few verses here as well. So Leviticus 6 and 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, if a soul sin and commit a trespass against the Lord Yahweh, and lie unto his neighbor in that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or hath deceived his neighbor. So, there are a few conditions. It's like lie to the neighbor about something that he's supposed to keep. Another one is also in fellowship. Another one is also he lies based upon actually it says the third one says in a thing taken away by violence, so he basically stole it, or hath deceived his neighbor, so some kind of trickery, man. It says verse 3, or have found that which was lost and lieth concerning it. So let's say he found what the neighbor was seeking, but he just lie about it, maybe because the Israelite wanted to keep it for his own reason, for his own I'll say malicious purposes. But with that type of a sin, this is what's going to happen. So it says, or have found that which was lost and lieth concerning it, and sweareth falsely in any of all these that a man doth, sinning therein. This is the result. Then it shall be, because he hath sinned and is guilty, he shall restore. So he's gonna give back what he's lied about keeping, or what he's lied about losing, or what he's lied about taking violently. He's gonna restore. He says he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he hath deceitfully gotten, using deception, trickery, or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which he found, or all that about which he hath sworn falsely, he shall even restore it in the principal. So of course it says, and shall add. So the principal is really referring to the initial amount, and it says here, and shall add the fifth part more thereto. So hold on, let me read this again. It says which was delivered him to keep, and lost thing, or the lost thing which he found, or all that which he hath sworn falsely. So let's say he swore that he did actually take it, but he took it. It says he shall even restore it in principle, so the initial amount and price, the initial quantity of value that he stole, and on top of that he's gonna add on 1/5 on top of that as well. That's if it's in the case where he swore falsely that he didn't take it or something like that. It says he shall even restore it in the principle, and shall add the fifth part more thereto. That means 1/5 of the initial quantity is going to be added, and 1/5 of 100%. 100% is the initial quantity, and 1/5 is 20%. And that's why in some translations like the either NIV or NLT, you see that 20% more is added upon what you need to restore, if an Israelite was to commit that intentional act of swearing falsely, that he didn't take something. Alright, so it says, and shall add the fifth part more thereto, and give it unto him to whom it appertaineth in the day of his trespass offering. It says, and he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord Yahweh, a ram without blemish out of the flock, with thy estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest. So of course a ram without blemish means a ram that's healthy, it's sound, it's very healthy, it's strong. So that's what will be used as a trespass offering for those conditions listed there between verse 1 to verse 5, man. This is really just goes into denial of not taking something. If you really want to sum it up, the denial of not taking something. So you intentionally did it, but you then denied it. This is the trespass offering, which is a ram without blemish. So of course these were the things of which Israelite needed to do in order to really get right with Yahweh, to mitigate, which means to mitigate means to make something less severe, far less severe. We mitigate our sins by, of course, doing these things as well, man. So we do that, we pray, and then we remain faithful that Yahweh Shemashah forgives us as well. And then just move on to the next day and keep living and keep serving Yahweh Shemashah. Alright, so let's see. I don't know if there was something else in Leviticus 6 as well. really that's the key part, because the rest of it, goes into like burnt offerings, meat offerings as well. About the priests, how to prepare the burnt offering, and what else? Also, the remnants of what the priests are gonna eat after the burnt offering. But anyways, or rather, meat offering. The key part was really verses 1 to verse 6, really. So that's really it. That's for the trespass offering. So there were direct actions that Israelites were supposed to take. Let me get a few precepts, and I'm gonna close it out. It doesn't need to be too long. So Hosea 4 and verse 6. Hosea 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. That knowledge right there that I was explaining to you, you brothers that are watching as well. The thing is, that's the type of knowledge which will help to actually guide us towards a more how can I say it? A more secure path with Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. Ideally, that was back in the day, though. But right now, it says here, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. If they had this knowledge, they would have humbled down and then prayed to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, doing their fast as well to Yahweh Shem Yahushai in order to get that mercy, man. Despite being in these conditions. But of course, remember, there's 2/3 and there's a 1/3. And if you don't know what I'm referring to there, I'm going to show you right now. So Zechariah 13 and verse 8 to 9. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd shall be left therein. So the 2/3 are referring to Israelites in America, specifically in Babylon or Fume. I'm going to have to suffer the nuclear missiles. The judgment of the nuclear missiles mentioned in Joel 2. It says in verse 9, and I will bring the 3rd part through the fire. Again, nuclear missiles are going to provoke that fire. What's the name? I'm going to just call it. Well, yeah, arrows upon arrows upon arrows being sent from other countries onto Babylon, America, man. Because it's something America's going to do where the nations are going to just have it up to here. Then when they have it up to here, they're going to be like, alright, release the missiles. Then, Esau's going to be done up. It's going to be done up. As Benjamin says sometimes. Now, Zechariah 13 and 9. And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh is my power. So of course that 1/3 is the one that's going to be refined through the adversity that they go through in America, and of course wherever Akim are at, because we've got brothers such as myself in the UK and also other European places. Or I think there's even a brother in Japan, if I recall. But we'll see. But there's many brothers everywhere, man. Even in Nigeria as well, Tanzania, Jamaica, a lot of places. But the point is, going back to Hosea 4 and 6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and they will lead their life right now with the absence of considering Yahweh Shem Yahushua and what they could do to them is what will lead to their destruction. Hence why they got the lack of knowledge is leading to their destruction. That's what I'm trying to say there. So it says, because thou hast rejected knowledge. See, the prophets are out there preaching. Israelites don't want to know. They don't want to stay aware. They're like, all right, heard that, gone. They don't want to listen. That's the point. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. What we read in Leviticus was actually part of the law, man. That's part of the law. Now it says forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. With the Most High forgetting the children, of course, that's when we then suffer through the curses, man. So it's a harsh reality, but when you gain the knowledge, you start to reason, okay, this is why we're going through what we're going through, because we rejected knowledge. from disobedience. Then from disobedience, we start to reject the Most High, and then Israel's in a done-out case right now, man. This is why Israel needs healing as a whole. As a whole, Israel needs healing. Now, let me get another precept here as well. This is how this is how Israel is supposed to be. And narratives are. This is how this is how all of Israel is supposed to be. But some 2/3 of the ones who are in that Hosea 4 and 6 mindset where they are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. But this is how we're supposed to be. So Proverbs 2. This precept I'm about to read is how Israel is supposed to be, really. So Proverbs 2 and verse 3. I read from verse 3 to about verse 7. Yea, if thou criest after knowledge, and liftest up thy voice for understanding, if thou seekest her as silver, and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord Yahweh, and find the knowledge of the Most High. So as it said there in verse 3, if thou criest after knowledge, when you cry for something that you really, 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 really want it, you're in that point of desperation, that's how it be. That's how it be, man. That's the way, we're supposed to be seeking this knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Now, of course, we also pray for mercy as well, because we're in the flesh. It's not as if we're in that powerful state as the angels are right now, where you could just go 24/7 just studying scriptures day by day. The flesh got to rest as well, man. But that's why we need the mercy of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. I'm just bringing this out because this is how we ought to be, and we do what we can to study, day by day, implementing it, studying. And Yaratazar will also create these video epistles, to teach, the new brothers and whoever brothers can benefit from this as well. Really protect the ones of whom Yaratazar, they are the elect of Yahushua, the 144,000. Revelation 14 verse 4, 14 verse 3 really. But anyways, verse 6. For the Lord Yahweh giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. And what is written in these books, in this book, the scriptures, is the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So when it says for the Lord Yahweh giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding, that comes from the scriptures, man. The understanding we get from the teachers of which teach us. That's why they're worthy of double honor. And we'll get that one quickly as well. And the reason why we give double honor to the great Muslim apostles is because they're laboring in the truth, and they're the ones who allowed us to gain that understanding. Yeah, that's also a separate video as well, because I know I had this preset for another video. But 1 Timothy 5 and 17, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. And of course, the apostles have been laboring in the word consistently. They're currently still laboring, still producing those videos, and bringing in fruit, man. Which of course is can be likened unto the servants of Yahushua. So yeah, it says, for the Lord Yahweh giveth wisdom, and out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly, and that's what we're trying to do. And of course, the scriptures say, a just man falleth 7 times. Yahushua, that's why we constantly pray for mercy as well, because we're not perfect, man. We're not perfect. We do what we can, but Yahushua, he gives us strength to keep going. That's really the point. So that was Proverbs 2. Let's see. Give this final preset, man. We're going to wrap it up there. Alright, so hold on. Alright, this is Psalms 51 about verse 1 to 7, which really just to get the context here. This was when David committed his sin with Bathsheba. He's committed this sin, and then he's now asking for mercy to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So let me read verse 1. It says here in Psalms 51 and verse 1 to 7, I'm going to read to as well. It says, "Have mercy upon me, O power, according to thy loving kindness, according unto the multitude of thy tender mercies, blot out my transgressions." When you go against Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. "Wash me thoroughly from mine iniquity and cleanse me from my sin," which is what we need. We need that cleaning process, man. We need that cleaning procedure, which really as well, when you pray and fast, that's also a way that you clean up your spirit as well, from all that bullshit that you've done as well too. So it says, "Wash me thoroughly from mine iniquity and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgression, and my sin is ever before me." It's always in his mind, isn't it? Clear as day. So verse 4, "Against thee only have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me." So even that, man, we're born into sin just from the birth. It says, "Behold, thou desirest truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden part thou shalt make me to know wisdom." It says, "It purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow." Now hyssop, as it says, it can have two definitions. One of them is a pot herb, which means obviously you use it for cooking and really use it for cooking. That's one of them. Another one is as I think they call it a cleansing agent as well. The herb that's used for there was a definition that I read before this as well. But really, it's a cooking agent. It's a herb that's used for a cooking agent. And it's also a cleansing agent as well. In fact, let me just get the definition quickly. Still had it in my mind, but sometimes these things happen, man. Sometimes these things happen. Let me just try to get quickly definition. Alright, it's right here. Yep. So where I'm reading again, Psalm 51 and verse 7, "Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow." So the point is to get to that state of purity, man. Which really we're going to get to the ultimate state when we get into those new bodies. That's going to be the ultimate state. Now hyssop, it says in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, first definition, a plant used for purificatory sprinkling rites, which just goes into purification, sprinkling rites by the ancient Hebrews. So that's talking about Israelites' custom as well. And that's why King David, he mentioned, "Purge me with hyssop," man, because that was used for purification. It also says in the second definition, that's a European mint from I think this is Latin, Hyssopus officinalis. And it says that has highly aromatic and pungent leaves, so it has a strong, distinct smell, and is sometimes used as a pot herb. So yeah, as I mentioned before, it's a pot herb, and it's used as a purification process for Israelites as well. So that's what David was saying in a metaphorical sense. He was saying, "Please cleanse me with hyssop" as well. Of course, his spirit needed cleansing. That was really the main point there. So I'm going to end it off there. As I said, the main point of the video is that there are direct actions to take after having a distinct type of sin, whether it be a trespass or another type of unaware sin that you've recently been made aware of. There are different ones. but there's a direct actions to each one. And these are the customs that we ought to be following. But now that Israel's destroyed from that knowledge, or has rejected that knowledge rather, they're in a state of destruction themselves, and they're just walking the path to destruction, which is broad. So I'm gonna end off there. Shalom, Kahalayim La Yahaba Shem Yashab Bashir Kapudash. Much more double on the scriptures and apostles. Authority of Shah for the strength in order to make this video. And Yara Tazar, that this has been seen as a edifying video as well, that's built you up. So Shalom.